Good afternoon. Beautiful warm autumn's day. Another exciting little project today. I got called by one of the local rehab centres and they had been given a bunch of tortoises, and we do use Val de Vie as a release site for such things. So I brought in 31 tortoises. Some of them I've released in the biocorridor, others I'm going to be releasing here in the small Fynbos reserve down on Val de Vie I. In this part of the Western Cape, we've got two basic species of tortoise. The one is the angulate tortoise, very easy to differentiate. You'll see the little triangles on the carapace here. And then we have this little guy, the green parrotbeak tortoise, or Patlorpiki. Now this is a fully grown adult, probably around about 20 years old, whereas this angulate is probably 5 years old. Very difficult to tell the age of tortoises. So we're going to release them here. There is a small population of green parrotbeaks. This little guy will increase the genetic diversity. Angulates aren't found here. Locally they were extinct until we started reintroducing. So we'll set up a little population of angulates here. We also then have another species on the estate, the panterrapin, but they're aquatic, they're found around the lakes. Although when the rains start and when the rains end, sometimes you'll find them wandering along the roads and they're basically looking for another pond. Very easy to differentiate between a terrapin and a tortoise. Tortoises pull their heads in on a vertical axis, whereas terrapins pull their heads in on a horizontal. The terrapin is also much flatter. Unfortunately, I don't have one to show you. So we'll be releasing these little guys, and when I say little, some of these angulates are very, very little. This one's a year old. They don't have many enemies, but crows do eat very young tortoises like that. So I've chosen an area where it's very dense. The chances of crows occurring here are much less than in the biocorridor. But once we've released them, nature must take its course. Otherwise, one of these days we might become overrun with tortoises. Now the Western Cape, we're very, very fortunate in having more species of tortoise than anywhere else on the planet. That also means they're targeted by poachers. Don't think of only ivory and rhino horn poachers. We are experiencing a massive upswing in the illegal trade in exotic pets, and a lot of them are going through to China. So please never be tempted to buy tortoises or any wild animals off the side of the road. You're just driving that market. The other important thing is, if you're walking around the estate, cycling around, and you find a tortoise, please don't be tempted to pick it up. They've got a bladder inside called the bursa, and that's where they store water for the dry periods. If you pick them up, they release that water. It's a defense mechanism, and that could lead to dehydration and eventual death. So like all wildlife, please just leave it alone. If you find one crossing a road, by all means just help it to the side of the road. But they are territorial, and I'm hoping that they'll mainly stay within the reserve here. So we'll let these little guys loose, and let's hope they establish themselves for future generations of tortoises and homeowners. I have brought in some adults just to sway things a little bit, a male and a female, and then these little guys. So they're off to do their own thing now. The area's biodiversity has increased, populations have increased, genetic diversity has increased. And that makes me very happy, and I'm sure they'll be happy here as well. So thanks for your time, and thanks for all the comments and questions. We really appreciate that. If you have any further questions or comments, please drop us a line.